My favorite part of the meal is dessert. Well, guess what? I'm doing dessert. We're doing Italian influenced. I'm doing an espresso ricotta cheesecake. Because not only does it taste good, it's simple to do. And here's what I mean by that. We're going to start off by making a little whipped cream first. So I'm going to start with maybe half a cup of cream. And all I want to do is, I want to whip that up. Now the best way to make whipped cream is you have the bowl chilled, you have the cream chilled. I'm going to add in just a little bit of vanilla. And I don't want it too sweet, I'm going to add just a little bit of sugar. We're going to let that go. And that's it, that's all there is to whipped cream. So, hey Matt, you think Skycam, come on over. Check this out. Let me show you what we did. Look at this. The reason I brought you over, Matt, is I'm going to turn it back on and everything's going to whip around and I'm going to get you filthy. No. Actually, see that? That's how fast it is. Now, when you go to the store and you get whipped cream, why do you not make your own whipped cream? It's that simple. I mean, Matt, would you make your own whipped cream at home, Matt, if I asked you to make it? Sure. You'd make it at home, right? Pretty simple. So we're going to put the whipped cream now off to the side. We got some whipped cream ready to go. Now, I'm not even going to clean the bowl up. We're going to use the same bowl. So get all the whipped cream out. We're going to use the same bowl. And in here now, we'll put the whipped cream off to the side from when I put it in the fridge to keep it nice and chilled. Okay, well that's there. We're going to start making, here's our mascarpone cheese. I'm sorry, mascarpone, listen to me. I'm already thinking about another pasta dish. We have ricotta impastata. Ricotta impastata means almost like ricotta paste. What we have is we have ricotta cheese. You can find this pretty much in any market you want to go to, especially the specialty markets. But the bottom line is if you can't find it, what you want to do is you take some ricotta cheese and you just line it in a colander. Just let that go for a little bit. Just kind of line it in a colander, just break it up. And what you do is you let all the weight of the cheese just kind of pull down and it's going to let all the water out of the bottom of the colander. Because you want a dry ricotta, that's the idea. So when you make this, you've got this dried ricotta. The more dry it is, the less likelihood of the cake just kind of falling apart on you. So to this now we're going to add, look at that. See that? Nice. It's a thick, creamy cheese. Look at that. See how thick that is? We're at our 2 eggs. I'm going to add just a little bit of sugar to start. And now I've got here some brewed espresso. And the espresso's been chilled. I don't want to cook this cheese. Not yet. So what I'm going to do is add in our espresso. And that's our flavoring agent. Now, in a perfect world, instead of doing this with a whisk, you might want to do this with a paddle. The problem is, here at the restaurant, as we getting started to do our show, and we brought all our tools out, I found out that somehow, miraculously, in my kitchen, they misplaced, I can't tell you how, they misplaced the paddle. So we're going to keep doing it here. I'm just going to clean this off a little bit, let it go again. But the theory would be, you want to get this really creamy and smooth. Okay, I'm going to add in some more of our sugar. Add in all of our sugar, why not? And then I'm going to add a little bit more of the vanilla. Okay, now we're going to let this go for a couple of minutes. I'm just going to brush down the sides. There we go. Let that go for a couple of minutes. Okay, now, how do we cook this? Well, we got the oven at 350 degrees. We'll let that par cook or preheat. Okay, we start with that. Now this is the part that's actually pretty cool. This is, I think, the key to making a really good cheesecake. It's almost done. That's pretty good, nice and smooth. I think the best part about making cheesecake is you have one of these spring-form pans, and they crack open. They pop open, spring on the side, they pop open, and the bottom piece sits inside this little groove in here. So what we want to do is we want to get this, the reason you want to do it this way is when we're all done cooking it, you're going to just put a knife around the edge and you're going to pop the spring. The whole outer ring comes apart and allows the cheesecake to be presented without it breaking apart. I think the biggest mistake people make with a cheesecake is if you don't use a spring-form pan, it's kind of tough to pull it out or cut it in a bundt pan or a pan that doesn't come apart. But the other thing too is that there's a trick. Most people that make a cheesecake have a problem with the cheesecake cracking, and I'll show you exactly why that is. I think it's a simple way to fix it, real simple way to kind of fix it from cracking. But all I'm doing now is I'm just rubbing a little butter along the inside. And traditionally what you could do is you take some breadcrumbs But instead of breadcrumbs, what I'm going to do is I have some vanilla wafers or amaretto cookies, or you can use graham crackers, or you can use, I don't know, if you like Oreo cookies, whatever kind of cookies you like, and you just make some crumbs out of them. And we're just going to roll it around. And that's going to coat the sides where the butter stuck. And we're also going to leave a little bit at the bottom, so we end up with this really nice crust. Okay? I like that. So far, so good. You guys with me so far? Wasn't too hard, right? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this whole mix. See how creamy it got? Smoothed out a little bit. We're going to take this whole thing. We're going to pour it right into our pan. Remember I was telling you about a trick, the simple little thing, a little method you can use that your cheesecake doesn't crack. Well, what we do is you cook the cheesecake. It's an hour and a half cook time. 45 minutes through. Halfway through, you go on the oven, rotate it 180 degrees in case there's a hot spot or a cold spot in the oven. And most ovens, there's spots that are hotter than others. So this way you get this thing to cook evenly. Then, when it's all done, you put a toothpick in, you pull the toothpick out, it's pretty clean. There's not a lot of, still a lot of the mix, the cake mix on the toothpick comes out dry. What you do is you shut the whole oven off, and then you take a spoon, and you let the oven door stay open. Now this could take an hour or 2 hours for this to cool down, but what's happening is the cheesecake itself is gradually coming down in temp. It's not going from 350 degrees right down to cold or room temp or anything like that. It's gradually dissipating some of its heat. So what that does is, I think that's the key from keeping the cheesecake from cracking. So now, when we pull it out, what you have is, see the cheesecake now? See the top? There's no cracks. And I think that's the key. Now most cookbooks, I don't know if they tell you that. It's kind of like a little secret. I don't know why, but I'll tell you what, this awesome already. The smell is just outstanding. Okay, so I smell vanilla and I smell espresso. It's still a little hot, but I think we're ready to go. So probably the best way to eat this would be chilled. So let's see what we can do. Because the oven is dissipating its heat, but not too quick. First thing we'll do is we'll just come around the sides, just in case. Pretty clean. Yeah, pretty clean. Okay, we're going to open up our springform pan. The whole thing comes loose. And there, that's why, see? That's why we're doing a springform pan. Okay, now, this cake, I'm telling you, it's a little dense, it's a little rich, but this is awesome, awesome tasting cake. Here's what we're going to do. Take, squirt right down the middle. And we'll take ourselves a piece. Now again, this is probably, it's still a little warm, but I really want to show you guys at home. It's probably best to let this chill, because if it chills in the fridge, it's going to set up and become a lot more firm. But I think you guys can see, what do we have here? We've got this really perfect, creamy, ricotta espresso cheesecake. We're going to put that on our plate. And what I have in my fridge now to finish this, I've got that whipped cream that we made. I've got some macerated berries, and what that means is we take a berry mix. And this works great if you want to buy frozen berries at the market. You stew them down. See, we get raspberries, blueberries, blackberries. What you do is you just kind of simmer, stew them down right in a saucepan. A little bit of water. Let them cook down. There you go. A couple of berries. I'll take some of the syrup now. Just put the syrup on the plate. And then to finish the whole thing off, what I think you need for some really good Italian cheesecake, a little bit of powdered sugar. Now, how hard was that? We did everything in one mixing bowl this time, not even one pan. The berries, you can make these berries ahead of time, keep them in the fridge, and as you serve this Italian cheesecake right out of the fridge, great way to do it is a little bit of this berries. Even if you don't use the berries, I'm telling you, this is an awesome tasting dish. Matter of fact, I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to prove it to myself. A little bit of whipped cream on top here. The berries are ready to go. I'm going to take a bite. Let's see what we got here, right off the back. I like the back with the crust here, which got a little texture. I know Matt's saying, where's mine, right? Just a little bite here. I'm telling you. It's dense, it's rich, it's creamy, but it's not heavy. Really, really great flavors. This is a simple one to make at home. I hold it for about 5 days in the fridge, no problem.